Hello, everybody. Welcome to the First 100 podcast. This is a podcast where we explore the journey of entrepreneurs, business owners, agency leaders, and so many other cool people as they share with us the strategies, the challenges, and the triumphs that have led them to secure those first 100 customers, first 100 followers, that first 100. Very excited today because we have a very cool guest. Her name is Shira Bernard. Hi, Shira. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. You're a really exciting guest. I actually saw you on Shark Tank on that one episode that you were in. So it's really cool to have you on this episode today.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love hearing that.
For anybody who is not familiar with you, what you do, I mean, I obviously already spoiled them and told you that you were on the show, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about what you do, about everything that we need to know about you?
Yeah, so I am based in Palm Beach, Florida, and I started a company when I was 16 called Nightcap. So we're a drink spiking prevention company, and I started the company after I had a friend that was roofied at the bar. I slept on it and thought of the idea in a dream and created a prototype out of my mom's stockings when I woke up. So I sat down with my dad and kind of crafted that little prototype with him. And he immediately said nightcap or top hat. So that's how we thought of the original name of Nightcap. And we've been in business for about 5 years now. So we're just doing what we can to keep people safe.
Amazing. It sounds great. And I did kind of like look into your product. I mean, I did see the episode that you guys were in, and I'm really curious to see how your business has been growing since. But this is called the First 100 podcast. So I do have to ask the question, how did you actually get that first milestone in? Like, how did you start selling the first few products? Like, how did you set up? How did everything come about?
Yeah, so the first initial I guess profit came about through just advertising on social media. And we would just post on TikTok and basically just get the product out there so more people could see it. So, whether that was just putting the product on a drink or putting the founders' faces behind and telling a story about Nightcap, that's really how we were getting the first customers on board and people were seeing the product for the first time, which was leading to sales and partnerships and different things like that.
That's so cool. Well, I mean, you guys are also very youthful product because you are focused on, like the college scene and the party scene and, people who go out, and it's obviously very much within the young crowd, which I find interesting. But how have you been able to pitch this to business owners and stakeholders and, like when you were actually thinking about scaling to all of these other sort of players?
Yeah. Um, Most of the time, our customers come from them reaching out. So when we post on social media, the people within the nonprofits or the universities are seeing that content, and that's when they reach out to us. So it's really an inbound business instead of reaching out to a lot of new customers. We I would say 50% of our business is bulk orders to universities and clients like that. So um, I guess all businesses are different, but we're not really a company that um, does a lot of outreach.
That's cool. I mean, it's great because you also do have a product that is very focused on a really big social issue, especially for women. I think if you are a woman that is out going out, you're gonna always have that risk of getting your drink spiked, even by your bartender, not necessarily by someone else, but it's always a concern. So I do see why people would want to invest in a business like this. And actually, I wanted to ask, I'm really curious when you guys have been, through the launch and the development and the growth of Nightcap, what has been the biggest challenge in growing this business and how have you been able to overcome it? Up until this point, I know that businesses obviously are evolving and there's probably going to be new challenges coming in the future, but up until now, what has been the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I think just being like a young founder and not really knowing how to start a business or having any experience in business. So, really just learning from trial and error and being okay with that. Because when you're starting your first business, you aren't supposed to know everything. And I think realizing that is a challenge in itself. So, we have figured out ways to find what works and then just kind of copy and paste that. So, yeah, I would say just like listen to your gut. You're not really supposed to know what to do at first, but once you figure it out, um, that'll kind of lead you to your next move.
And I also wanted to ask Shira, because I'm curious. You guys started in 2019, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah.
And right towards 2019, towards the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, COVID happened, and obviously, a lot of clubs, bar scenes, all of the nightlife kind of got shut down for a while. And your business model and what your product is about, the nightlife and going out. And obviously now in 2025, I was about to say 2024, but in 2025, um, it's been resumed. But I do feel like sort of this whole world was affected by this. And, when you were just starting a business, how did you face this problem when like nobody was going out for a long time?
Yeah, we we were very we were brand new, so it wasn't really making a difference to us because we didn't have sales anyways. So yeah, I guess it did slow down. People started to just, I mean, not buy anything regarding the nightlife because no one was doing anything. That's kind of when we took the time to think about how are we supposed to get, like, what do we do after this? And that's when we applied to Shark Tank. So we definitely kept ourselves busy during that time. Um, and then we ended up going on Shark Tank during 2020. So it all worked out how, it was supposed to, I guess. But, um, you know, that time was really hard for a lot of us.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the timing was great though, because you guys had like that time to sort of do the product development, and then have that ready for the market back already in like 2021, or I'm guessing, or like when clubs and bars were already opening up.
Um, yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, it was definitely a time to just take a step back and really see like what we could do and how we could, help people and when they were to go back out again.
Now, I'm curious to ask you about like the product development and the product itself. How have you actually evolved the product from what it started out as and what you were initially selling to what you are selling now?
So it was just an idea, and we had to create the actual product by finding a seamstress and getting it to where we wanted it to be. So it was a lot of just deciding, do we want this pocket to be on the outside or the inside, or how do we want it to function? So that took a little bit. And then once we got the product to what it is now, we started developing more products that cover your drink no matter who you are or what you're drinking. So like beer bottles or cans or, products for men and all genders, because not everyone who gets roofied is a woman, or not everyone who wants to protect themselves is a woman. So we were just trying to innovate and listen to our customers. So I think now we have about like 8 to 10 products.
That's so cool. And like I also wonder, how did customer feedback come into play with this? Like I'm assuming once you had it in the market, once you had it there, um, people started using it, you started to get opinions from customers. Did that influence the way that did that influence the design? Did you say like, oh, this, we've gotten a lot of complaints about this, so we're changing it, or we have a lot of compliments about this, so we're like optimizing it? Did that influence any changes at all?
Yeah, our customers have definitely helped us create new products. So when we were looking at our comment section and realized a lot of these people, drink beer and your beer bottle can be spiked as well, that is very important to take into account and realize, okay, this doesn't work on a beer bottle. I mean, we have people that want to still protect themselves. And from there, you just kind of have to realize, like, pivot and see, okay, how do we keep people safe if they're using a different kind of drink and still want to protect themselves. So like reading your comments and your messages is super important when developing new products, to see like who's using the product, and what else would they want.
Yeah, for sure. And I wonder also like the nightlife and the clubbing scene, bar scene, just like, drinking in general. How has that influenced or any future changes that you see happening? Do you think it will be influencing your product, or do you think you have something solid that's going to sort of be the same as things change?
Are you asking if the bar scene has changed?
I just mean like if any changes in how bars or clubs distribute their drinks is influencing the way that you are selling your product, or do you think that it doesn't really affect it?
um to be honest, bars are not our main client, just because they don't care about people's safety. The people who care are usually colleges and nonprofits and military bases. Regarding bars, like, if they don't see a big monetary opportunity for something, they don't invest their money into it. And they know that the problem happens, but they kind of turn a blind eye to it. So um, if it's not it's not a big market for us, but um so yeah, no, I wouldn't say that the way, I mean, it makes sense, like, because all these drinks have like big garnishes on the top, so like a drink cover wouldn't make sense or stuff like that. But to be honest, no, unless the individual's bringing the product into the bar, um that the bar probably doesn't have it.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I was just curious because I was wondering if that specifically, like someone telling me like, "Oh, why would I put a cover if it has like a little umbrella or a straw in it," if that sort of affected sales. But it's really interesting to hear that bars and clubs are not the main sellers, because I would have imagined that it would have been like a really huge marketing thing for a bar or a club to say like, "Oh, we were safe because we provide like these covers."
Yeah, it's just, yeah. I, yeah.
Yeah, it's just very interesting. But I guess I was wrong. It was just a question that I was curious about.
No, I think
Um,
most people think that bars are a big client of ours. I mean, it would make sense. And in the
yeah.
beginning, we thought they would be a big client of ours too. It just, like, you approach them and they don't respond to it the way that you would hope they did.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense though. I mean, it makes sense. I think there's a lot of like stuff that industries turn a blind eye to. So it would make sense that this is also something that they do as well.
Yeah.
Um, but to move to a little bit more of a positive topic, I wanted to ask, do you have any like experiences that you've heard from people who have used your product that have resonated with you, or that have made you feel like this is worth doing, or that have actually helped someone protect themselves?
Yeah, we've definitely had really positive feedback on people using the products. Like, there are a few stories where people have been at a dark club and someone has tried to spike their drink, and they've walked out of the club and seen pills and powders on top of the nightcap. Um, in general, I think I come across pretty much someone every day that either has a story or knows someone that has a story about drink spiking. So I think, when people give me those stories, it tells me, like, there is a deeper problem here, and there is something that we need to change, that people just began talking about. So I think it's been going on for a very long time, and the conversation has just begun. So yeah, I definitely think, like, every single day there's someone that I talk to that assures me that we're doing something that is actually helpful.
That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I have had an experience. I don't even know if like my I remember when I was in college, I had like this one time when I went to a party and I got it from like the bartender. I got like a cocktail, and when he gave it back to me, I feel like I was so drunk, but it was impossible to get drunk from, like, I hadn't even finished that drink, and I felt like I just felt like so dizzy and just like completely out of it. And I told my friend, like, I was like, I'm really drunk. And she was like, we had been there for like 20 minutes. And I remember her thinking like maybe they put something in your drink, but I was like, I don't know, because nobody was really like trying to do anything to me. There was no really weird guy. I have no way of confirming if that was spiked, because it didn't taste funny. Um it was just really weird. I don't know if it was just because I was tired, like if it was like my body just not reacting well to the drink, whatever it was. Because I had drank before and nothing had ever happened. And I kind of was just like, I'm just gonna go home. Like I remember I got an Uber, I went home. I was kind of like lame at that party, I guess, because I was just like really drunk. I fell asleep. The next day I was fine. And it really, like, I guess I always kind of lived with that doubt of like what happened if someone put something on my drink, um because I had no way of proving it. I had no way of knowing that. I just know that I had a really strange experience.
Yeah.
And when I learned about you guys' product, I think it really spoke to me, because I was like, like, at least if I had had something like that, I would have been able to know, like, maybe it was just me and I was just having a bad day.
Yeah.
Or I would have been able to know, like, oh no, my drink was spiked, because there's no way that I would have gotten drunk out of like the half of a cocktail, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry to hear that. Honestly, it happens so often, and the problem is, um, that we don't talk about it enough. So you kind of, I don't want to say gaslight yourself, but like you kind of tell yourself that it didn't happen, or like maybe you were this or maybe you were that. So that's the problem. And yeah, you sometimes you can't prove it. So there's a lot of flaws with the system.
Yeah, and it happens a lot. And I feel like it happens a lot with a lot of issues where like you kind of just gaslight yourself to be like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm fine. I'll live, but and there's circumstances where it's not fine, and a lot of really bad things can happen. So I
Yeah.
think like stuff like this is great to have out in the world. And hopefully more and more it can be integrated into places like this where a lot of this can happen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I wanted to ask you, Shira, because you're a very young entrepreneur, and we do have a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs who listen to this podcast, who are, they want to hear what other people have done to grow their businesses, to become like make it actually profitable. We also have a lot of sort of people who are very deep into 9 to 5, the corporate life. They have a job and they have this business on the side that they really want to start working on, but they probably don't feel like they have enough of a stable income to just up and quit and dedicate their life to this. And you started from very young, right? So what is your advice to anybody who is trying to grow a product, software as a service, any kind of business, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, to be able to actually get the product or whatever it is that they're selling into the market and making it profitable and being able to do this 24/7?
Yeah, I think we're given this narrative that when you're young, you can't do as much. Like you don't have the resources or the capital. You're not old enough to do this. I think that's honestly a scam. And when you're young, you're more delusional. So you think, you don't overthink as much. I think being young really helped me start the company because I saw the big picture and I wasn't okay with anyone like telling me no. I was like, no, this is my idea and we're gonna do this and nobody can get in the way. So I think being young is a superpower. People want to help you when you're young. You're creative when you're young. Like there's not a lot that is stopping you, unless you listen to the noise. But if you can block that out and just listen to yourself, um, being young is definitely an advantage. And I really think it helped me a lot. Like, um, you just see the world through like a different lens when you're younger. So yeah, I love that about like young entrepreneurs, and I would say I'm still young, so I still like feel that way. But I started the company when I was 16, so it's a little different. But now I'm 22, and um, it's I guess when you're young and you're starting a business, you just have to be okay with like accepting that you're not going to know everything. And once you can accept that, like you can literally do anything. Like you will figure it out if you can acknowledge that you're not supposed to know how to do it.
No, I totally agree. And I feel like when you're young, you're a little bit less jaded and a little bit more fearless. Um,
Yes.
as you get older, you get a little bit more cautious about
Yeah.
things,
I
right?
agree. Yeah. Yeah. But like even if you are older, quote unquote, and you haven't like started the business that you've always wanted to, like that shouldn't stop you either. I think like life is too short not to try.
Yeah, totally. And I agree because I feel like a lot of us sort of go through life doing things that maybe we're not passionate about because we're too afraid to try whatever it is that we want to do. And at least if you try and fail, you can say like I tried and it didn't work out, opposed to just kind of having that as like this hypothetical dream that maybe you could have achieved one day.
Yeah, and also what I would add for like people who are in the 9 to 5s like you mentioned, and people who want to start a business, like you have to believe in yourself so much that nothing can get in your way. Like an unwavering belief that you know it's going to work out. You have to have that, and if you don't have that, you need to find it, because you will be the only person that has that vision. Like there's going to be no one that comes in that's like, no, we're doing this. Like it's you, and you have to believe in yourself like nobody else will.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I feel like also because the type of journey that you've been on, and a lot of entrepreneurs are on, is something that's very easy to get discouraged from because you're gonna get a lot of no's and a lot of people who probably won't believe in you or what you're doing, or a lot of
Yes.
people who are gonna be like, I don't want to like, this is kind of like a failure.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it's great. I think it's really admirable to see young people like yourself who are sort of chasing a dream and, really achieving it. I think it's really inspiring for other people who are
Thanks.
going to want to do this. And I'm very excited for you and for the future of Nightcap.
Thank you. I'm excited as well. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens.
Hopefully it'll keep growing. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but we're almost out of time. But before we finish, I do have a game prepared for us to play just to sort of lighten the mood a little bit. Um it's a rapid fire of 20 questions and I'll give you a minute to answer as many as you can.
Okay.
And we'll see how many you can get through. These are not questions about business. They're not about branding or marketing or anything like that. They're just dumb questions.
Okay.
And just to like pressure you a little bit, nobody has gone through 20. So I'm always trying to find someone who can get through all 20.
All right. We'll see how I do. Let's go.
We'll see how you do. I have my phone here and I'm just like setting up a 1 minute timer and I'm just going to start reading them. Okay.
Okay. I love a challenge.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Favorite social media platform?
TikTok.
Go to karaoke song?
Don't stop believing.
Books or podcasts?
Podcasts.
One word that describes you?
Outgoing.
Dream vacation destination?
Thailand.
Most used app on your phone?
Instagram.
Favorite emoji?
The dancing girl.
Hidden talent?
Gymnastics.
Go to comfort food?
Pasta.
Superpower you'd have for a day?
Flying.
Who inspires you the most?
My dad.
Guilty pleasure?
Laying on the couch.
Ah, Time. So you did pretty well, actually. You got through 13 questions, so that's pretty good.
Oh, I had 7 more. Let's go. I feel like that's hard. That was
Yeah,
a
it's hard
treat.
because I feel like I probably should change the questions because I feel like the karaoke song question, everyone's always like, I don't know.
No, it's good because you put like like you're like, oh, these are easy, and then you're like, oh wait, no, they're not.
I guess I put people on the spot a little bit.
That's good.
But Shira, it's been great having you today. Before we finish the show, I do want to give you the space to plug anything that you want to plug. If anything resonated with anybody here that was listening, the space is yours to tell everybody where to go.
Yeah. So my nightcap socials are all nightcap it. Sorry. NIGHTCAPIT. And then my podcast is called the In Your Dreams podcast. You can find it on all platforms. And yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Yeah, then the links to this will be added to the description of this video so everybody can go and check it out. And Shira, it's been great having you. Everybody else, I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Bye.